Hello guys, Banana Luck here and welcome back to another Watch of Realms video. So today we'll be taking a look at the special 10x summons. So in particular Aylin, because she's the new hero that, all wondering whether or not it's worth the pull for. Because Calypso on the other hand, that's the hero that most people dread getting because she really needs a lot to get going, and I think a lot of us in the mid to late game probably not gonna make her shine as well unless you get her to A5. But without further ado, let's move into Aylin. So talk about her kit and where she shines, and yeah. So firstly, she's from the Infernal faction. I think there's not much other Infernal healers that I'm aware of other than Dolores and Autumn. Is that her name? Yeah, Autumn. So she's gonna be the only legendary healer in the faction. So maybe she might have some use in the Infernal faction trials, but let's talk more about her kit and see whether or not you actually need to. So first of all, let's take a look at her heal. So it's attack-based healing. So let's just see the stats at max level. 9k HP. I think, not sure if that's actually above average, but feels on the lower end. Attack of 3.2k. Sorry, let me just hop into Aylin and take for example. Aylin is at 11k HP and 5.7k attack. So Aylin does have stats on the lower end, because even if we see Laya here, I mean, she's a lot, but that's a lot higher. And we take a look at Dolores here. She's just slightly better than Dolores. So interesting, but let's take a further look at her kit to see whether her skills actually make up for her pretty abysmal stats, in my opinion. So if we look at cost, that's pretty low, 6. So you can probably deploy her a lot earlier compared to the other healers. Aylin is at 16. Dolores is at 6 as well, but very different use cases. And besides that, yeah, nothing much to really touch on. Her talent receives 1 stack of Divine Moonlight every 1 second, stacking up to 50 times. And what does Divine Moonlight do? Increases healing multiplier by 1%. So that means that at max it goes up to 50%. And we've already seen attack-based healing, but I think what's new for her here is that it grants attack-based healing to all allies in range. I think most of the other units don't do that. If I just hop over and look at Aylin, for example, pretty sure it's to 3 targets. Yep, 3 allies in range. And probably the same for Laya. Yep. So I think that's gonna be probably the one thing that she differs from all the other healers, which is that she heals all allies in range. And bear in mind, her range is actually insane. Just look at this. So I think without her max level, she has Dolores range, but at max level she has like the M-type Dolores range instead. So maybe that's why her stats are a bit more abysmal, because she does heal everything in range. So onto her ultimate, when triggered, increases hero's healing multiplier by 70% and speeds up heal by 100%. So it means that she's gonna just heal a lot basically. And rage cap wise, it's at 1000 and initial rage of 600. It's a bit hard to see where this will shine. Especially when you compare it to the likes of Aylin and Nidan, because they do AoE heal as well. Of course, the heal is not as quick as what Aylin can pull out probably, but bearing in mind that they do a dispel as well, so that's really handy when it comes to Void Wave content, for example. And I'm not sure if Aylin will actually be able to heal up and, for example, overheal Araka's poison, for example, in the first phase. But bearing in mind that if you use Aylin, you only need 1 healer, because she's just gonna heal everything in the area, given how insane her range is. So maybe she's a replacement of having instead two healers. You have one instead, but given that she doesn't dispel, I'm just not sure if she'll be able to out heal the poison that Araka deploys in that instance, in Void with phase 1. Okay, next one. When Divine Moonlight reaches 25 stack, increases healing multiplier by 20%, and addition, allies in range receive 10% less damage. And at max, that's 15% reduction and only requires 20 stack to hit. So seems that within 20 seconds, you're gonna be able to get this buff up and running at max level. And I think the damage reduction is decent, 15%, but I don't think it's high enough to, replace the likes of Sadie. And I think Sadie's cost is at 9, and I think she does HP base healing. Let me see if I'm correct, because I don't have a Sadie. Let's see here. 9 costs, and she's HP base healing, so a lot easier to keep alive. Oh, and she does the same thing that Aylin does with, HP base healing to all allies. So I guess she's the opposite of Sadie. And her range is slightly shorter, to be fair, so maybe still some use case for her. But let's look at her last skill. For every one ally in range, increases the healing multiplier by 1% and acquires one additional stack of Divine Moonlight. And this stack goes up to 3 stack per unit at max level. So it means that she's gonna be able to get her healing multiplier and the Lunar Haven put up much quicker, as long as you have low cost allies to deploy. So now with the skills, I think it's pretty straightforward. Just all out heal, there's that minor damage reduction, but nothing special in terms of boosting things like attack speed, damage, or dispel. So a bit lackluster at first glance, but maybe her awakenings will change us. I'll talk. So first one, increase the healing multiplier on targets with HP below 30% by 30%. So okay, interesting. Healing effect plus 3. During the effect of Lunar Haven, further increases multiplier by 10, and healing range will be extended. Doesn't say how much this is extended, but it will be interesting to know. Like, is it gonna be like a huge 6x6 square or something? Rich regen, that's typical, and when Area of Moon ends, every stack of Divine Moonlight restores 6 rage. So let's see, she gets 50 stacks at max, so that's gonna give us 300 rage back. But given her rage cap is at 1000, it's still not gonna be spammable in my perspective. So overall, my perspective, I think she's not gonna be a must-have. It's hard to know without testing her. So if let's say she's gonna be able to out-heal like the poison from Araka, for example, or maybe like in the later stages where there's the tentacles, where one hit takes like, I don't know, 80% of your unit's HP, maybe that's where she shines. But bearing in mind that it's going to be quite tough to build her, because you need to build her with both HP and quite a bit of decent attack to get her going. So yeah, but I think all in all, her kit is just all out heal, and can't really see anything special other than that minor damage reduction that she does with Lunar Haven. But it'll be interesting to see where she can be used. And I mean, if you do pull her and that's the only healer you have, I don't think she's bad. I mean, at 6 cost, she's decent. But when you start getting to content where, things like Dispel and all that is required, it starts to get a bit iffy, because when you compare it to the likes of other heroes, like, let's not even look at the legendaries. We look at the epic healers, Midan, for example. She does Dispel, and yeah, she just heals as well a lot for all allies in range. And she also does do defense increase by 20%. So that's nice. And during her ultimate, she reduces damage taken by 10%. So pretty similar kit, but most people are gonna get Midan. So that's the difference. And another unit that we'll probably look at is Vortex. So Vortex, not the same. He's single target, but I think him doing the shielding, I think that makes a whole lot of difference. So it's not to say that, Aylin is a bad unit to pull. I just think that if you're new to the game, you should still hold out and try to pull for a 2x event instead of this 10x drop. Because a 2x event gives you 2 times the chance to drop a legendary, whereas this just gives you a chance that, you're 10 times more likely to get either Aylin or Calypso when you actually get a legendary. So very big difference there. But besides that, I don't actually have much else to cover over her kit. It's pretty straightforward. But if you ask me, shouldn't pull her, but if you do get her, good for you. She's not that bad. At 6 cost, I think you're still pretty much going to be able to deploy her somewhere. It's just that when you get to the more niche content, then maybe you will need a better unit that can dispel or do shielding to get through the stage. For example, in Gear 8 2. But that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed the content, leave a comment, like the video, or even subscribe because it will really help the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.